Hello friend, welcome to the video. Today I'll be discussing a topic that Spirit made me aware of a while back, and while I was intending to make this video, Spirit came through with a little bit of a download, so I wrote it down, and I'll begin the video by sharing it. This is Spirit's interpretation or insight on the video's topic of a negative prayer, or what I also refer to as a reverse prayer. A reverse prayer or negative prayer is when you perceive someone as limited, lacking, or carnal, therefore affirming them as limited. Projecting that negative interpretation onto them energetically. Okay, that's what Spirit had to say about it. And we do this to ourselves. We do this to our loved ones. And it's been raised to my awareness so that we may mindfully create a different experience and therefore affirm their empowered state rather than their disempowered state. So here's an example of a reverse prayer. When we'll use a loved one as an example. When we see a loved one and we perceive them, we interpret their experience as they aren't doing good enough, they need to do better, they don't make enough money, their health isn't good enough, they're not doing what they need to for their health. They have a diagnosis and we're affirming that. Every thought that we have brings along with it an energetic expression. And if we're thinking those lacking and limiting thoughts about our loved ones, we're actually projecting that energy onto them. When we pray for somebody, we mindfully pray for their betterment. So we try to raise them up vibrationally by thinking good thoughts. But when we're thinking negative, unloving thoughts, or thoughts of lack and limitation, the carnal's mind's interpretation, those are still a prayer. They're just an unloving, limiting prayer. It is like casting a spell towards them. Casting a spell isn't, in essence, bad. A positive prayer is casting a positive spell, just so that we're clear and we're not creating fear out of ignorance on that topic at the moment. And what Spirit's bringing to my mind right now is when you go see an energetic healer, an energy worker, they see you in their own mind, in their own consciousness, as already healed and already perfect. That is what they are affirming using their consciousness. If you went to see a natural healer, or an energy healer, and they affirmed your illness, they would be practicing a reverse prayer onto you, and you wouldn't likely experience a beneficial shift towards health and healing. Because their conscious influence is actually affirming your illness. So examine and consider when you think about those you love, and when you think about those in your environment, and when you pass someone on the street who you don't even know, when you think about them, are you sending a reverse prayer, a negative prayer to them? Or are you raising their vibration by blessing them, seeing them as whole, seeing them as their own expression of God? Spirit's bringing to mind that what you do to others, you do to yourself energetically too. Because you can't think a negative thought about somebody else and not have that negative thought's energy not affect your own experience. In order to be angry at somebody else, you must experience anger. So everything you paint others with, by thinking about them, you are painting yourself with as well. Spirit says a validation of karma. As clear as clear can be. And when we notice that we catch ourselves sending a reverse prayer or a negative prayer to somebody, we have the opportunity, once we're aware of it and catch it, to correct it and send a positive, beneficial prayer instead. Affirming love with them, affirming wholeness with them, affirm the divine mind within them, affirm them as creators, as aware creators. Raise their vibration in your mind, in your conscious mind. We don't have to. It's a misunderstanding to think that we have to go into everybody's experience and fix them physically. The physical is the last expression of the energetic. We can just begin consciously and energetically in order to provide an influence of betterment and empowerment and replenishment and connection. Be that energy in your own consciousness that you are intending to influence others with. Notice how a negative person has a negative influence on people. It's not their physicality that's influencing our physicality. It's their mind, their conscious energy, their conscious mind, therefore their energy, their energetic expression that's influencing us. If we are not deliberate in our own thinking, that is, because it need not be the case if we are deliberate in our own thinking, because we can transmute it and influence our own experience. But what a beautiful lesson. And I feel it's another rare one. I feel like it was one that I was not aware of until Spirit brought it to me previously. The idea of a negative prayer. Spirit is validating that, it is in the Bible even, where Jesus says, love thy enemy. These truths are validated. It's just whether or not we receive them as we are subjected to them, as we're going through them. What catches our attention? What are we ripe and ready for? All right, so we'll cut it there for today, my friends. It's practices like this where we apply them because they're practical, and we begin to shift and transmute our own experience. So don't make light of them. These are valuable. These are life-changing. These are highly transformative. And notice if the ego promotes resistance to them, if the ego does not want to apply them. It is because the ego doesn't understand the benefit of them. It's the source of lack and limitation, not the solution to. All right, have a blessed day, my friend. And to add, if you're looking for some one-on-one guidance, you can contact me via email in the description. And if you're looking to join our community on social media platforms, those links can also be found on the description.